Welcome everyone to this panel discussion. My name is Alejandro Babilonia, and I have the honor of being the panel leader for today's discussion on cultural change and their implications. Today, we have the presence of four experts on the subject who will share their valuable perspective and experiences with us. Allow me to introduce our distinguished panelists, the psychologist Stephanie Reyes, the cultural trends researcher Freddy Torres, the social communication specialist Meredith Watt, and the cultural researcher Miguel Acias. All of you are welcome. Okay, each of our panelists will have 5 minutes to present their views on the topic. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone to maintain an environment of respect and consideration for all opinions presented today. So, we are here to learn and grow together through this exchange of ideas. So, with all that said, let's start with the first question to discuss. Okay, Stephanie, we have the first question for you, and is about globalization. How does globalization impact the preservation and evolution of culture?
Okay, hello everyone. Yeah, it's a good question. Well, globalization significantly influeces the preservation and evolution of cultures in positive and negative ways. As you know, globalization and increased cultural exchange foster diversity and understanding among societies, giving rise to an era of shared knowledge, shared traditions, and perspectives, which can foster cultural preservation by creating a global awareness and appreciation for unique traditions. In this case, the exchange of ideas and exposure to different perspectives can strengthen identity and help find a balance between preserving roots and global interaction. However, globalization also poses challenges to cultural preservation. For example, the economic globalization. One of the most important here is that economic globalization can lead for the to the commercialization of cultures and the exploitation of tradition for commercial purposes. We can reduce the authenticity of these traditions or these cultures. Well, as you know, it is our duty to preserve it, but globalization, as it has developed today, tends to standardize cultures and destroy them. Therefore, globalization can threaten and enrich culture. So the impact depends on assimilation and the acceptance force within societies.
So, taking into account all of this information, how does globalization influence the migration of people and the mixing of cultures?
Well, globalization determines the migration of people and the mixing of cultures. In this case, the interconnectedness facilitated by globalization encourage greater human migration because people seek economic opportunities, people escape conflict, and seek education around the world. And this migration, in turn, accelerate the mixing of cultures as diverse groups come into contact. Um, As borders become better known and communication becomes easier, the movement of people between countries increase for a variety of reasons, such as those I mentioned above. And well, returning to the economic point of view, globalization also influenced labor migration. People move to regions where their skills are in demand because they have a concept of new and better opportunities elsewhere. However, it is important to address the possible exploitation of migrant labor and to ensure fair treatment and integration.
Okay, that's a good information. But what about linguistic diversity? How does globalization affect linguistic diversity and language preservation?
Well, it's a good question, okay? While globalization may facilitate the spread of dominant languages, it also creates opportunity for exchange and enrichment of language diversity. However, the positive aspect of is often accompanied by the risk that small language may be pressured to adopt elements of the dominant language in order to survive. In addition, the dominance of a few global languages can lead to decrease in linguistic diversity as Israeli language struggle to survive.
Okay, thank you for your participation and for sharing your ideas and are with us. So let's continue with the next uh, question. And in this question, our panelists, Brady Torres, are going to help us to answer. So, Brady Torres, how does culture influence our identity and sense of self?
Okay, hello everyone. For example, we may derive aspects of our social identity from our family or for community, from fans for sports team. The social identity is different from personal identity because there are extremely organized through the membership or the personality identity along us particular groups, though or social identities we can make a statement about who are the not or not the cultural identities are based at the social construct category that the teach us away of the beginning and include expression for social behavior or way of action.
Okay, what about self esteem? How do self esteem and confidence develop depending on the cultural context?
Okay, the cultural part can have a significant influence on our uh, perspective of self. The cultural can the shape of belief, value, and behavior, which in turn can affect how we see ourselves um, and how think others see us. For example, in some cultures, there is strong emphasis on individualism, in which can lead the more intermediate with the self and greed emphasized in group identity. Additionally, the culture norms and expressions can influence um, our statement and spatial, the culture and advertisement are high evaluated. Okay, we can let focus on complements and possible the self-perception and in other culture, humanity. My emphasis is on self.
Okay, you know that cultural difference play a good role in the perception of stereotypes. So, what is the role, or what role do cultural difference play in the perception of stereotypes and prejudice in the sense of identity and self-image?
Okay, okay, people who are the members of a unfamiliar culture group, and for example, of the who is having negative attitude toward the people who are negative attitude, and in the United States, also the people holding who is attitude. Their status foreign. A stereotype is a specific belief as assumption about individual members in a group regarding.
Okay, Rady Torres. Thank you for your participation and to share your ideas today. So let's to move to the next question. In this question, our panelist Merlis Watt is going to help us. So Merlis Watt, in what ways does culture influence our values and Belief?
Hello, everyone. Well, um, as you know, culture is a complex concept that involves a wide range for human activities, including language, custom, belief, and values. Culture plays a significant role in shaping our values and belief as it provides a framework for understanding the world around us, or place in it. Values, as you know, values are a culture standard for discerning what is good and just for society. While beliefs are the tenets or convictions that people hold to be true. A culture shapes people attitudes about others, and because they have these attitudes it influences see how we see ourselves. Our values and beliefs are shaped by the culture norms and practice that we are exposed to from an early age, and they continue to evolve throughout our life. Um, Culture has a deep influence in our values and beliefs, shaping the way we see ourselves and the world around us. By understanding the ways in which culture shapes our attitudes and belief, we can develop a greater appreciation um, for the diversity of humans experience and work towards building a more inclusive, equitable society.
Yeah, okay. And what about the social challenge that this kind of people or that the people can face when they face to the cultural values? So, how do cultural values and belief change in response to social challenge and change?
Well, that is a good question, Alejandro. Um, because cultural values and beliefs can evolve in response to social challenges and change through different factors, such as social movements that often challenge existing norms and values, driving change. Also, the influence of the media that plays a crucial role in shaping cultural values. Yes, news, entertainment, and social media can expose people to different perspectives, promoting a reconsideration of yeah of existing belief. Globalization can also lead to the exchange of ideas, prompting people to reevaluate their own cultural values in the face changes.
Okay, thank you. But talking about the personal experiences, how do personal experiences influence the adoption and modification of cultural values and belief?
Well, a personal experience can have a significant impact on the adoption and modification of cultural values and beliefs. According to a recent article published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, generally cultural values and beliefs are shaped by ourselves perceptions, which are influenced by cultural concept, context, and personal experience. For example, an individual education, background, relationship can shape their personal values, attitudes, and beliefs, which can influence how they perceive and adopt cultural beliefs and values. Additionally, research has shown that cultural values are influenced by different factors, including location, social norms, and personal experience. Therefore, it's important to recognize that personal experience can play an important role in shaping cultural values and beliefs. By understanding the ways in which personal experience influence culture values, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity of the human experience and work to build a more inclusive and equitable society.
Okay, thank you, Merely Squad, for your participation, to share your ideas, and to be here today to give your opinion about this topic. Okay, let's move to the next question. This is a good question, and our panelists, Miguel Asias, are going to help us to answer this question about decision making. So, Miguel Asias, how do cultural norms and customs affect our behavior and decision making?
Okay, so hello everyone. Hope you all are okay. Okay, Alejandro, that's a good question. And let me start saying that culture is a set of shared values, belief, and practice that shape how people interact with each other and their environment. Culture influences many aspects of human behavior and decisions making, such as communication, social roles, morality, and identity. Different cultures may have different norms and customs, which are the unwritten rules and expectations that guide social behavior. So, norms and customs can affect how people perceive situations, to evaluate options, and choose actions. One way that norms and customs affect behavior and decisions making is by providing social cues and feedback. People tend to conform to the norms and customs of their culture to avoid social sanctions, such as criticisms, rejections, or punishments, and to gain social rewards such as praise, acceptance, or recognition. For example, in some cultures, it is traditional to greet others with a handshake, while in others, it is traditional to bow or kiss. People who follow this custom are likely to be seen as a polite and respectful, while those who don't may be seen as a rude or ignorant. Another way that norms and customs affect behavior and decisions making is by influencing values and goals. People tend to adopt values and goals that are consistent with their culture and use them as a standard for evaluating options and outcomes. For example, in some cultures, personal autonomy is highly valued, and people are encouraged to pursue their own interests and preferences. In other cultures, collectivism is valued, and people are encouraged to prioritize the welfare and harmony of the group. People who share these values and goals are likely to make decisions that reflect them, such as choosing a career, choosing a partner, or choosing a lifestyle. A third way that norms and customs affect behavior and decisions making is by shaping self-concept and identity. People tend to internalize the norms and customs of their culture and use them as a source of self-definition and self-expression. For example, in some cultures, gender roles are defined as enforced, and people are expected to behave in ways that match their biological sex. In other cultures, gender roles are flexible and fluid, and people are free to express their gender identity in various ways. People who conform to these norms and customs are likely to have a stable and consistent sense of self, while those who deviate from them may experience confusion or conflicts.
Okay, Miguel, así es. So, you know that sometimes these norms and customs can affect our perception of what is right or what is wrong. So, how do cultural norms and customs affect our perception of what is right and what is wrong in our life?
Okay, Alejandro, we learn what is right and wrong from the rules and expectations of our culture. They tell us how to behave in our society and what we should or should not do based on what our culture values and believe. These rules help us to judge behavior and tell us what is good or bad. Different culture and different culture have different rules, and what is right and or wrong can change depending on the culture. These rules affect how we think, choose, and act.
Okay, so in conclusion, our panel discussion has highlighted the crucial relevance of understanding and addressing cultural change in today's society. We have explored how this transformation impact not only the way we relate to each other, but also how we work, educate, and live in community. Now, more than ever, we are presented with the opportunity to take advantage of this change to build more understanding, collaborative, and innovative societies. So, with all this, we oh, moment, we conclude our panel discussion, and I thank you for your collaboration and sharing of ideas to our participant and panelists. And see you next time. Bye bye.